Okay, in this video we're going to talk about instruments made out of wood. We'll start from the most obvious and move from there. This instrument is a slapstick. In band literature and orchestra literature, you might also see it referred to as a whip. Again, a lot of the instrument names for percussion instruments were taken from the early 20th century, when percussionists, in addition to being rhythmic timekeepers, were also the Foley artists for silent movies and theater, right? So they were responsible for creating all the sound effects. So if you wanted a sound effect in an old Western or something of, you know, the gunslinger cracking his whip, this is the instrument you would use, and so that term has persisted. Slapstick is becoming more common. It's fairly obvious. It's two pieces of wood that you slap together. And a variety of different woods will have different sounds, different lengths. Of course, you can vary the dynamics and all that stuff. So that's the slapstick or the whip. Basic wood blocks. You're going to find a lot of different varieties of wood blocks and a lot of different pieces that call for wood blocks. I would say fairly typical now, high-end wood blocks are carved out of American hardwoods, like the rock maple that this one's made out of. You can find some older wood blocks, not so often anymore, that are made out of rosewood and walnut and some other more exotic woods, have very, very rich tone, but are very easy to break and are very expensive, so not very useful for typical school settings. But your typical wood block will look like this. If you less expensive option, will be made out of a not quite as good of a wood, or might have a different shape, or typically are smaller. But even these low quality wood blocks can still make a good sound if you hit them in the right spot. So, like cowbells, wood blocks have a mouth, usually a little slit that's cut in, and so you're going to strike on the top of the wood block, and you really have to find on each wood block what we call the sweet spot, the spot where that sound, where that wood block makes the nicest sound. So, typical playing will involve either a soft xylophone mallet like rubber, or very, very soft acrylic or maybe not acrylic, plastic, or else snare drum sticks, and I'll demonstrate that in just a second. So, if we don't need to do anything else, we're going to hold the wood block in our hand so that the audience can see it. You can present it to the conductor, and so it'll make a better sound because it's raised up and it's not stuck down here on a table, right? So you'll hold it in your hand with the mouth facing the audience, and then you'll strike on the top with the mallet, right? So striking on the face here. So you can see if I move, I get richer and thinner sounds. And again, like on most percussion instruments, we want to achieve the most tone that we can. So each wood block is going to have a different sort of sweet spot that you have to learn. Right? Even just moving a half an inch can totally deaden the sound of the block. Alternately, if you're using snare drum sticks, you can either play it on the top or on the mouth, just like the cowbell. Right, again, gives you a different sound color than playing with a mallet. And of course, they come in different sizes, and sometimes you'll need to use two or more. And so they'll have different pitches. Right, so even a lower quality wood block can still make a good sound. These wood blocks are about 1/3 of the price of these. Right, so if you need multiple wood blocks, you put them in some array. Right, or if you needed to play them with snare drum sticks. Right, something like that. And again, you can make them face the audience too if you want. And again, striking on the face versus the mouth gives you a little bit different sound. If you are in a situation where you can use synthetic wood blocks, this is the industry standard. This is the LP Jam block. It's a synthetic material, performs the exact same function, has a mounting bracket on the back, is much, 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 much more durable than traditional wood blocks. And again, same thing, you'll just strike it on the face. Last instrument for this video is tempo blocks, which usually come in a set of 5 typically pentatonically tuned blocks, so you can see them here. And you will usually play them with soft plastic. You can also play them with yarn or rubber or snare drum sticks. Right, or you can do it with sticks. And again, you can play on the face or on the mouth. And if you have a mallet with a hard enough core and you need a soft sound, you can actually play with yarn mallets as well, or vibraphone mallets. Alright, so that is some of the wooden instruments.